Okay, friends. So in last class, we started our pandas journey. Okay, and basic functions we have studied. So we will be continuing same today. Okay? So moving ahead. So let me import my necessary libraries. Suppose I'm importing import numpy snp. Just a second. Using import numpy snp and import pandas as PD. Perfectly fine. Okay, we have successfully imported our libraries. Now let us take our data set with me and let me import that data set. Okay, let me import that data set, or rather read that data set into my CSV file. So how can we read the CSV file? I know that I'm creating a variable known as df and using the expression pd dot read underscore CSV. Okay, and giving the path of that file. Suppose that file, I know that path, the file is available in the D drive. So I'm using that D // and file name is sample.csv. So I'm just reading this file and saving that data into this variable. Okay, so I'm running this. Okay, I've successfully read my CSV file. Let me check it is available or not. Yes, it is available. Very small data it is. It's very small data it is. I've manually created it so that you can understand the things better. Okay, so it has normally we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Very simple, small amount of data. I've intentionally taken a small data so that you can understand things better. Okay, so suppose what we want to do. This is a table which is given to us, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 columns available. Okay, somebody said that. Okay, you are in an organization, you're working, you get a data set, and you prepare your data set as per your consent. You whatever your best belief is, according to that you created your data set. But your boss said, I'm not satisfied with data set. Do one thing, please add their marital status as well. Okay, add their marital status as well in this particular CSV file. Clear that means in data frame, I want to see in this data frame, I want to see their marital status as well. So what you can do, one way, go to your CSV file originally, right? And create one more column over there. This is one way. You can do that. Always go to your CSV file back and create one more column. This is one way. Second way is that I will not modify my original CSV file. I will directly do here. I will directly do here and create a new column here. Okay, so how can I create? Very much like a dictionary. I'll type df, whatever your data frame is, df square bracket. Okay, and within that, whatever name you want to give to that column. Suppose I want to put married status, yeah, marital status. This is the name I want to give. Okay, equals to whatever values you want to give. Whatever values you want to give. Suppose you are in very hurry. He is saying, please give me in 5 seconds. I don't know how you will do that. So you say, okay, how will he come to know somebody is married or not? Let me put everyone married. You did one thing, married. Simple. You put one thing only, married. Okay. So what will going to happen if this column already exists there? Every value of that column will be replaced by married. But in our case, that column is not available here. So new column will be created, which a name will be assigned as marital status, and every value of that column will become married only. So let me run that and check again my DF. See, a new column has been added. Okay, and you are saved. You send this file to your boss. Boss is saying, what is this happening? Everyone is married. Somehow he's smart. He said she's only 19 years. She got married. You say, sir, she belongs to rural area. There people used to have early marriage. That's fine. You can save at least yourself. But this is not a proper way. This is only in case you want to add some constant value. Okay. If you don't want to add some constant value, then what I can do? Again, same principle. Okay. Equals to, this time put a list. Okay. Because you want to save specific value. Now you somehow come to know Pranay is 32. He is married. Okay. I'm putting everything in the list. Okay. Shreya is 19. She's unmarried. Arushi is 23. Maybe she's also unmarried. And then Raj is 27. Maybe he's married. I just created this and run this. Now check my DF. Okay, so my data has been saved correctly. Pranay is married, Shreya is unmarried, Arishi is unmarried, and Raj is unmarried, and your work is complete. Means easily we can create a column. Very easily we can create a column. If it doesn't exist, doesn't matter. Just use the name of your variable that you have assigned to the data, your data frame. Whatever name you want to use that inside your square brackets, and whatever values you want to put, just put those. You will get your column created. You will get your column created. Okay. There is one more way. Suppose, okay, your boss is saying, I need to see one more column now. Okay. And I want to see total earning of every individual. If you see this data set properly, we have two columns. One is salary, which is fixed salary of it. Second is incentive. Please, somebody is unmuted, mute yourself. Thank you. Okay. So this is salary, monthly salary, and it is monthly incentive. He wants to say total. Please tell me how much is total earning. Okay, that is C2C. How much is the C2C? This is fixed salary. This is incentive. I want to know C2C. What is this cost to company that he's receiving? So what I need to do, I need to add these values. I need to add these values. So what I can do again, for that purpose, I need to create a new column. So I'm typing DF again, variable name. I'm saying total earning. Total earning equals to, directly I can add values of these. How? Again, somebody is unmuted. Please mute yourself. Okay. DF salary plus DF, sorry, DF incentives. Okay. Run this and let's check my DF again. Okay. I'm able to get my total earning column, which is nothing but sum of salary and incentive. 50,000 plus 10,000, 60,000, 10,000 plus 2,000, 12,000, 20,000 plus 5,000, 25,000, 45,000 plus 15,000 is 60,000. Okay, so we can easily create our columns in case of pandas data frame as per our requirement. Very, very easily. Is it fine, everyone, till this point? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's move. We have created columns. Okay, let me put a heading here. What's we are doing? We are adding new columns. Make it heading. Okay. Now suppose he says I don't need one column, so we need to remove the columns. Now we need to remove the columns. Okay, so I'm typing removing the columns. Okay. So for removing the column, we have a particular method available which we can use. Okay, and what is this method is, you use your data frame name, that is df dot drop. Df dot drop. Okay, this is the drop. Now what you have to do normally, understand, within this drop, if I pass my column name directly, see what is going to happen. Okay, I want to drop my column name. Suppose I've already got the total earning. I don't need any incentives now. Same information is being communicated here. So I want to drop this incentives column. So let me try to pass it. Incentives. Okay. Immediately will throw me an error. You'll see that. See, I got an error. Okay. The column name is incentives only, right? Same I have typed incentives, but it will show that it is not found. Can you see that? Incentives not found in the access. And why it is happening so? Because by default, this drop function knows these rows, means this indexes, means rows it knows. It doesn't understand the columns. It doesn't understand the column, means by default, it understands only these indexes 0, 1, 2, 3. So what, when you have put incentives, he's trying to search incentives here 0, 1, 2, and 3. Is trying to search incentives in 0, 1, and 2, and 3. So it is not available. Of course, not available. That's why it is showing incentives not found in the access. Hope it is clear how it is searches, how by default it searches. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I have to tell the drop function that what? Please don't search here. Don't search here. Search here. Search among the columns. Don't search here. By default, I know you search here. I got an idea. Now don't search here. Search here. To tell that, we have to change this access, because this is the error I received. Not found in the access means somehow there is a mistake in selecting the access. Let me change the access. Let me change the access. How I will change? If you want to know, just press a comma. Normally, let me tell you, if you go inside and press shift and tab, you can see there is something mentioned as access equals to 0. Can you see that? Access equals to 0. Access equal to 0 means we are dealing with rows. Thank you. Okay. Access equal to 0 means row. Now just make it 1. Just make it 1. You've changed the access. 0 means he will search here. 0, 1, 2, 3. 1 means he will search in the columns. Name, age, gender. So once I do that, let me run it. It won't throw error. And now you can see earlier we have a column known as incentives. Can you see that? The incentives column is no longer available. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can get an idea. If I ask you to please remove row number 0, can you remove it or not? If I ask you remove row number 0, can you remove or not? Tell me. I tell you how it searches. Now you should get an immediate idea. It searches here 0, 1, 2, and 3. So you know the numbers. This is 0 number. This is 1 number. This is 2 numbers. This is 3 number. So if I do one thing, simple, let me copy it and see, removing everything, taking by default access to be 0. Let it be 0. Then it will search here 0, 1, and 2, and 3. Suppose I want to remove first row only. So what is this index? 0. I pass it here. So what it will do? It will search 0 here and it will found it. And as soon as it find it, it will remove that. Immediately it will remove that. You can check it. See, your pranay has gone now. Now, can you tell me, will you be able to remove rows or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Got an idea how to remove?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay. Now suppose you want to remove, you have removed one column only. Let me check. Let me show you one thing. Actually, if I run here, see, nothing has gone. Check my data frame. Everything is there. Name is there, age is there, gender is salary, incentives, marital status, earning. It has not gone. It is there. It is showing it has gone. See, can you see that? It is showing it has gone. But actually it is available. Even this row has gone, but it is available. Actually, what happens if you go again inside the definition of drop function, whether up or down, there is one more parameter. Go to shift and tab, and its name is in place. Can you check? In place. In place equal to false. It says that don't make changes in original data frame. Are you getting my point? What in place equal to false means? Don't make changes in your original data frame, and it is basically created for safety purpose. Sometime it may be possible by mistake you did it, right or wrong. It may be quite possible by mistake you deleted any column or you deleted any row. Then to save yourself, if they have done this. So if I want to save in the same place, there are two ways. If I want to save the changes in the original data frame, there are two ways. For example, when I'm typing df.drop equals to instance, just use one thing. Do this assignment, df equal to this. That's it. So originally, your original data frame will be replaced by this data frame. If I do this kind of assignment, same here. If I use df equals to this data frame will be assigned to df. So automatically, you can say now my df consists of only these columns or in these columns. That's it. This is one way. Second way is that. Second way. Another method of doing that. Again, I'm calling the same function. And as I just saw, df is having everything. I will change that parameter. which is what? Remember, in place. This is the in place. Okay. And I have to just mention here in place of false, true. In place equals to true. And once I run it, okay, done. Now you can check DF, your incentive column will no longer be available. You can check it now. Please check it. Is it fine? Is it okay, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes it may be possible that you may have to drop multiple columns. Okay. It may be possible that you may have to drop multiple columns at the same time. Then what you can do in the pandas, this is my actually experience, what I'm sharing. Whenever you want to do something on the multiple items, pack all those multiple items inside a list. It will do for you. This is my experience with the pandas, especially. Anything you want to do instead of one thing, you want to perform same thing on the two things, pack that inside a list. Most of the time, 99% it does for you. This is my experience. And let me show you. I'm copying it again. And I'm just for demonstration purpose, so I'm removing in place equal to true. Okay. And this time I want to drop two columns. Suppose I want to drop any two columns. Suppose salary and marital status. Let's say. Okay. So I'm going here. And this time inside this, I'm placing list. Okay. Inside list, and inside this list, I will type my any number of columns that I want, any name of the column that I want. For example, let's say I'm dropping age. Okay, this is my first parameter I don't want. And second parameter, let's say gender, I don't want. You can enter as many as you want. Just put a comma and keep typing the name of this. Let me run this and check. Can you see your age and gender has gone? Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So you're able to remove any number of columns you want, any number of columns. Same way you can do for the rows as well. Now, moving ahead. Accessing rows. How can I access rows? Okay. How can I access rows? We studied yesterday how to access columns. Very, very easy thing. Just use a DF. Go there, put your column name, whatever column name, for example, name. I'm able to access it. If I want to access multiple columns, that means to make it a data frame, let me put another name. Let's say salary. Right? We studied this thing already. And as we have to access two names, we have to put in a list again. It will get converted into the data frame. And I can access that. Okay. This is how I access columns. Now, how will I access rows? How will I access rows? So deal with that. Let me show my data frame once again. This is my data frame, which is available. Okay. This is my data frame, which is available to me. Okay. And let me do one thing so that you can understand things better. Let me check their index. I know indexes are 0, 1, 2, and 3. I know the indexes are 0, 1, and 2. Still, I'm checking df.index. Okay. It's showing simple. It's indexing from 0 to 4 in a step of 1. That is 0 to 3. Perfectly fine. But what I want to do, I want to change these indexes. I want to change these indexes and bring the indexes as per my requirement. Suppose I want to name them A, index number A, index number B, index number C, index number D. So how can I do that? Very easy way. How can I change the index as per my requirement? One of the simplest way. Okay. So I'm typing my index. Okay. Again, you need how many elements you need? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just packing them inside a list. Okay. Suppose A, index is A, index is B, index is C, index is D. Okay, this is my list which I created, which is 4 elements corresponding to 4 indexes. Let me run this. And one thing I have to do, just again use the same df.index, and I have to just make it equals to. I have to make this equals to just whatever I have created. That is my index. Okay. Once I run this, now I can check my data frame. You can see the indexes have been changed. A, B, C, D. The row indexes have become A, B, C, and D. In this case, it was not required. Actually, what I'm going to explain you, for that purpose, we need alphabets here. That's why intentionally I've done that. Okay, intentionally. You may ask, sir, why it is required? No, for this purpose, it was not required because we are going to study a function. For that purpose, we require this. Okay, so we are able to change our index, or you can put any name, anything you want to know, anything, whatever you want to put. Suppose you can put here student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, or employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, employee 4, whatever indexes you want to put. It's entirely your choice. Now, how can I access them? Rows now. There are two methods. Understand that properly. Okay. Even you can go back. You want to go back, you can go back with that. Even you want to go back means you want to delete this and bring back 0, 1, 2, 3. Very easily you can do that. But what will happen, that we will deal with. This column will become a part of your data frame now. If I do that, see, df dot reset underscore index. See what I'm going to do. Okay. And again, I'm typing in place equals to true, so that we can get one more concept easily. Df dot reset index equal to true. Let me run this and check df now. Back again. See, 0, 1, 2, 3 is back, but this column has been pushed here. It has become a part of my data frame. Now you people will tell me, this is not my need. I don't want this index ABCD. How can I remove it? I don't want this index ABCD. How can I remove it? We just studied 5 minutes ago. I don't
Drop
want
the
this.
column.
How? Tell me the syntax, please. Please.
Index and x is equals to 1.
No, no, no. Please tell me.
Uh,
df dot drop, right?
access.
Yes, x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1, right? Then in our column name index, and then type x is equal to 1. And one more parameter, remember what parameter that is? In place equals to true. In place equal to true. Let me run this and check my df. Yes, back. Immediately we get an ID. Now again, if I need same thing, let me do one thing. For the purpose we have done that, df.index equal to my index. This is my need, so intentionally I did that. So let me get that. So suppose df. I'm back again with my ABCD. And these things will come with the practice. That's what I'm saying. Do practice, practice, practice. Otherwise, everything will get mixed. Lots of things are there, and this will come with the practice. I don't have to look anywhere. What I'm doing, what I'm planning to write or something. Immediately it comes to the mind and I type here. Okay, same way it should happen. And it will happen. It's not like that somebody is intelligent or not. It happens with your experience, your practice. Okay, now moving ahead, why we have done this. So let's understand. Okay. Now, suppose I want to access any particular row of these. Okay, so now my row have indexes A, B, C, and D. Rather, we call them now as labels, A, B, C, D, because these are not numbers now. Understand? So if I want to access, suppose row number this, row number this. Okay, so what I will type df dot a function known as LOC function, location. Okay, LOC function. Put a square bracket there. Okay. And as we can see, it's a character now. A, B, C, D. And how do we represent string or character? Double quotes or single quotes? Put that name. Suppose A. Suppose A. So I will be able to access first row only first row. Let me run this. Can you check it? Name is Pranay. Age is 32. Gender is M. Salary is 5,000. Marital status is married. Total earnings 60,000. That means this row has been captured. And won't you believe, even if we see our data frame this way, it is also known as series. Remember, yesterday we studied that every column of this data frame is known as series. Similarly, every row will be known as a series. You can check it. Let me use this and type. Let me check its data type. Okay, I'm typing type here. type and type, you will see that it's also a series. Can you check it? It's also a series. So any row I want to access, I can access any row. Suppose I want to access this time row number B and D, okay, more than one. So what I will do now, I just told you I need to access now more than once. What should I do? Tell me, any idea? I just told you I need to access more than one now. What should I do? Instead of one, I want to apply same operation on two or more than one at least. What should I do?
A comma B within double quote.
Put a list first of all. Okay, put a list first of all, then double quote, and suppose I want to see B and D, whatever you want to see, B and D, but put that inside the double brackets, B and D. Okay, now check it. You will get rows corresponding to B and D. Okay, very much like we were able to access our column directly, right? We were able to access our column directly by using square brackets, put the names there. But if you want to access your rows independent, means you want to access rows now, so you need a lock function, LOC function. You want to access individual row, just give the label of that. If you want to access multiple rows, use this square bracket, means sort of a list icon, and within list, put the name of the labels of rows where you want to access. This is one way. There is one more way. There is one more way. Okay, and that is known as iLog function. This is log function, that is iLog function. What it does, it searches for index, not labels. Okay, so if we see here, the labels are A, B, C, and D. So if I want to access by labels, I will use log function. Okay, I will use log function. This labels can be text or labels can be number as well. Doesn't matter. It may be like 1, 2, 3, 4, or you may choose. I may put the numbers 10, 11, 12, 13 here. So if you want to access from those labels, right? Those labels, then you have to use LOC function. Now, suppose I want to explore index. Remember, Python is a zero index language. So indexing always starts from zero. So indexing, but it doesn't matter what you put here. Doesn't matter what you put here, A or 10 or 20 or 30 is here. If we talk about what is this index, so index, actually the Python's internal index of that will be 0 only. 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 0, 1, 2, and 3 will be its your index. Okay, so suppose I want to access again 0th row. Index location is what? 0. So again I will go here, put a square bracket here, and a square bracket I'll put simple 0. A simple put 0. Let me run this. I'll get again same Pranay 32M 5000 merit this. If I want to access multiple rows, same procedure like this. Instead of these labels, put your numbers. Okay, and what I'm doing here, I'm again using a list. And suppose I want to access B and D, so B's index will be 1 and D's index will be 3. Pack them inside a list, run this, and you can see both entries will be exactly the same. Can you check that? Any order you want to access, you can access your rows now. So now you know how to access your rows, and you know now how to access your columns. And different ways to access your rows also you have studied now. Is it fine, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Everyone. So now we are moving to the most interesting part of the pandas. Okay, that is filtering. Most important, or most means you can say enjoyable, that you will understand. Most enjoyable. Whatever we did, that was fine. That is okay. But now what we are going to do is going to be very good. So suppose let me bring my Titanic data set back. That is in the D drive, I guess. So I'm using df equals to pd.read underscore CSV. And if I'm correct, it's in the D drive. So D:/ and the name is, I think, Titanic. Let me press, yeah, Titanic CSV. This is the name. Let me run this and let me check it. Okay, it has been executed. Oops. I think we made some changes yesterday. Can anybody tell me how can I solve this problem? Now you know. Yesterday we did that. It is representing only one column. Everything is represented as one column, remember, but there are several columns: survived separate, P class separate, name separate, sex separate, age separate, sibling separate. Remember or not? Yesterday we discussed, but everything is coming as one column. Why?
So here we have to put a shape equal to within double quote at the date.
Very good, very good. Because by default, the separator is comma. By default, separator of CSV file is comma. Okay, so we have to change that separator. We have to put sep equals to at that. That's it. My problem will be solved. Run this, and we'll get our data set back. Perfect. Is it fine, everyone? I'm happy you people are able to troubleshoot. That's very good. That's very good. You remember. Actually, I saw that earlier as well, but I intentionally kept it this way so that you people remember that or not. That's good. Perfect. Good. Okay. Now suppose what I need to know, understand my task is, I now need to know the name of this is my data set which is available. Okay. Which is survive, P class, name, age, something, parent, children, about. My task is, okay, I'm asking you, you are my data scientist or data analyst. My task is, please tell me in the Titanic, tell me the name of most aged person who was on the ship. Understand what my scenario is. I'm asking you, please tell me the name of most aged person on the ship. Okay, so break it. What I asked you most aged, right or wrong? I ask you most aged person. So age, which column can tell me the most aged person? Any idea? Which column among these?
Age column.
Very good. Very good. And who will be the most aged? The person who will have the maximum value of this, right or wrong? The person who is having
Yes, sir.
the maximum value of this. Of course, that will be the most aged person. Without any issue, we can first check. Right? So what I can do, see, let me reach this column first. How can I reach this column? Simple. I will type df bracket, the name of the column, that is age. Fine. And how can I get its maximum value? There are two ways. One, it's method known as max method. Max method of pandas series. I can directly use that. Let me run this. Okay, it is telling me the maximum value of age in this particular column is 80. The maximum value of the age in this particular column is 80. Second way we also can opt in. There's a function known as max, and within that max function, we can pass out our column whose max value you want to find out, like this age. It will return same value. Anything you can use. Anything, it's entirely you. I normally use this one to remember. It's very easy. Anything you can use. It's entirely up to you. Okay. So like it is a max, there is a function known as min. So I get to know, okay, the maximum age is 80. So what I am typing, see, now what I'm saying, df, again, same age column I'm going, age equal, see properly, please, df age equal, this parameter. Okay. So what this statement is saying, this equals means comparison operator. Okay, comparison operator, which will return true or false. So what is going to happen, understand this way, every entry of each column means every row of each column will be compared with this value. Every entry of each column will be compared with this value, that is 80, right? 80. If that entry will be equal to 80, it will return true value. If this entry will not become equals to 80, it will return false value. Is it fine? What it will do? It will take individual value, means it will take first row of the age column, compare it. If it is equal, it will show true. Otherwise, false. Move to the second row, compare age column second row's value with the 80. If it is equal, return true, otherwise false. This way it is going to work. Let me check it. Can you check it? False, false, false. Yes, please.
Sir, but we are not putting any loop function over here.
No need. Automatically it will do. Don't worry. We are using column here, right? So column will automatically do. Pandas will do for you. You don't need to put loop. Don't worry. See, automatically it has returned or not? Pandas
Yes,
is pandas is going to work for you. That's why it is very easy. You don't have to worry. Panda will deal with that. Okay. Till this point, it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Now see what I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna pack this thing. Gonna pack in this thing. Means this is my DF. These are square brackets. Original data frame is DF. Within that original data frame, I am going to pass this thing. That is this condition. I'm going to pass like this. Now what will happen? See what it is saying that. It is saying that give me those rows of data frame. Give me those rows of data frame which satisfy this condition. Are you getting my point? Just give me those rows of data frame which satisfy this particular condition. Okay, so only those rows of the data frame which will return true will be selected in my data frame. Let me show you that. Can you see? I got just one row now. I got just one row, and you can check that age is 80, right? And that person's name is Mr. Ergenon Henry Wilson. Okay, so what I did, I break everything in the step. See, first of all, I understand what was the problem. I need most aged person. Okay, aged is the criteria. Okay, let me go to the age column, find out what is the max value. I came up. Okay, this will give me the max value. Okay. Second, let me create a filtering criteria. So I compare my age columns every value with this max value. This will return true where both are equal and otherwise false. Now this filtering criteria, this is the filtering criteria. Okay, pass this filtering criteria to my original data frame. Put a square bracket and pass this filtering criteria. Give me only those rows of data frame which satisfy this filtering criteria. And here in this case, there is only one row which is satisfying this criteria. That means what? Only one person, Mr. Ergenon Henry Wilson Marquardt. And you can see this is nothing but a data frame. Okay, so how you can access it further? There are two ways to access it further. For example, I can save it in another data frame like df1. Please mute yourself. Okay, I can save it in a data frame. Okay, I saved. So df1 is a data frame. As I told you, I need name. Remember what I asked you? I need name of the most aged person. So this is the data frame which is available to you. Can you tell me how can I access the name? How can I access the name? This is my complete data frame. Means these are columns available: survived, P class, name, sex, age. How can we access individual column? Remember, how can we access individual column?
Sir,
So by using
DF1 within second
column.
second column, we have to put the name.
Yes, that's it. Right? I got the name, Mr. Ergenon Henry Wilson. This is what I want. One way. Second way. This is why I am increasing one step further. I know this is a data frame. So if I consider this one as a data frame only, right? This is a data frame. We saw that it is a data frame. That's why I am able to save in the DF1. So instead of using one step means saving in the DF1, then using this one, why don't I directly pass this here? Why don't I pass it directly here and see? Same results are here. Is it fine? This is nothing but a data frame. I saved in the data frame, means this thing I've saved in a data frame, then I access that using the name. Means why increasing one more step? Directly I can pass the name here. So I put a name here. Now tell me, if I change my requirement, I want to see both his name and age. Whatever I do, I want to see his both name and age.
Sir, within the list, we have to put a name, comma, age also.
Right? Directly we can do one thing here. Let me copy it. Very good. We'll come here. Instead of name, let me put one more list here. Okay. Comma, bracket, second column name, that is age. Okay. Close, run it. You will get name and age. This way, whatever columns you want, you can extend. You can extend whatever column you want. Tell me, is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now second requirement. Now tell me, very, very easy. Name and age of the youngest person on the ship. Name and age. This what it we did. We did here what? Let me write it here so that you can understand. Name and age of most aged person. Right? This is what we did on the ship. And these kind of scenarios you will get in industry when you will go. They'll give you a data set. Please tell me this thing. Please tell me this thing. And see how easily we are able to do data analysis. Now what our task is, most young person on the ship with his or her age, whatever his age is. Or suppose I need his gender. Gender is there. Yes, sex is there. I need that also. Okay, I need that also. Can tell me how it will be done?
Sir, first we have to find the minimum age.
I can directly use it. If you give me
Okay,
permission, directly I can use it
Okay, sir.
within fraction of seconds. Okay, very good. Your logic is fine. Instead of max, just pass min here.
Min.
Right? And suppose I also need her gender as well. So I think gender has been named as sex, if I'm correct. Yes, sex. Right? So I'm putting sex. Name, age, and sex. Let me run this. See, the name is Master because she's younger. Normally we call them Master only. I said Alexander Thomas, and he was only 0.42 years old. 42 years old. Now suppose I ask you, tell me, did he survive or not? Okay. I'm asking, did he survive or not? What can I do?
Sir, add one more column. Survived.
Yes, very good, very good. Yeah, luckily he survived. God's grace. Perfect. We don't know the 80 years old survived or not. Can we check? Should we check? Let's check it. Let's check it. Did he survive or not? Because it coming out of the curiosity. It's coming out of the curiosity that most aged person was able to survive or not. Let's check it. Luckily, he also survived. Good. And that's very good. Means most youngest and the most aged person both survived in the Titanic case. Okay. Now let's take another case. Okay. Now I want to find out the person whose maximum means who has the maximum number of family members on the ship. Okay. Who has the maximum number of family members on the ship. Are you getting my point what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Name and age, everything we want to find out. Let's say name, age, and survived or not as well. We want to see that survived or not. Or later on we will get it. Name and age of a person with maximum family members aboard. Okay. With maximum family member aboard. You can say means who is carrying maximum family member with the on the ship. You have to check that. Who was that? Who was that? Okay. So which column will help us out? Let's check it out in that. Passenger class doesn't make sense. Name, age, gender, fine. Sibling, spouse aboard. Parents, children aboard. Okay. Suppose let's take this one. Parents and children's aboard. Fine. Let's take this example. Okay. Parents, children aboard or not. Let us take an example. This will give us some information. So we want to find out the name of the person with the maximum parent children aboard. So very directly we can do that. Again, I don't have to write it again. I'm copying it again, or rather this one. Hope you're getting everything what I am typing. Tell me please, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Everyone, please tell me, is it fine or not? I think few people are listening, rest are sleeping, or they are just in different mode altogether. Is it okay or not? Please tell me.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
Yes,
getting
it's
it?
clear.
Yeah, that is very much mandatory, right? So I'm copying it again, pasting it here. Now what I want to check? I want to check parents, children, automatically it should come. Yeah, parents, children, abroad. Yeah, this one is the column name. Okay, same here. Parents, children, abroad. Dot max. So this will give me the maximum number of children's. Okay, and when we put this inside, it will give me a filtering criteria, right? And now I'm saying please put only those data frame, or select only those rows of the data frame which have maximum number of children, means parents and children abroad. This is the what thing is happening. So let me remove this first of all. Okay, and run this. Okay, there was I think only one person. That's why only one list is appearing here. And see, 6 persons were there. Okay, 6 persons were there who were traveling alone. Spouse were also there. One spouse were there. Age was 43. She was female. The name was Mrs. Frederick Goodwin. But baddest thing is she didn't survive. Right? She died in that. Okay. If you want to fetch some particular name, I can easily do that. You know how to fetch it. Suppose I want to fetch only the name of her. I can directly put name here. Fine. I want to just check whether she survived or not. I can put again this inside a list. And my column name, that is survived. Okay. She didn't survive. One bad news. I hope you're liking it. This is very interesting, honestly. You will be able to find out insight from the data very quickly. There are a lot more things to be done. This is what we are doing. The filtering means how to use the filter. Just create a filter condition, put inside your data frame, and you can use that. Simple.
Excuse me,
First,
sir.
yes, please.
Sir, can we use broadcasting in this data
What?
frames?
Why you need broadcasting right? No, we did it already. Didn't you see that? We did it. We did it already when I created a new column. Didn't you see that when I created a new
Yes, yes.
column? Remember?
Yes, yes.
I did that.
Okay.
Remember, I put a married everywhere in the
Married,
beginning.
yes, sir.
Yes, we did it already. Okay. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So move ahead. So these are the basic filtering. Means how can we do filtering? Simple. First, find out according to which the filtering is happening. Okay. Means which column is first of all, what is the criteria? Choose the column which will become helpful for you. Okay. And from that column, find out a maximum value, minimum value, or anything. Suppose I want to know how many people or how many rows are there, how many people are there, or how many rows are there on the ship who are above 50 years of age, let's say. Okay. I want to know how many people are there who are above 50 years of age. I want to see their data. I want to see their data. Okay. Out of 887, how many people were there who were above 50 years of age? How we can do that? Again, I came to know which column is going to help me. Age, right? So I will go df. Which column? Age column. And what I need, they should be greater than 50, right?
50.
They should be greater than 50. This is my filtering criteria. Done or not? I can check it. If I run it, I'll see true and false or something. And once it is giving me true and false, I can pack this filtering criteria inside my df. So I'm typing df, square bracket, square bracket. It will give me only rows which satisfy this criteria, means only those rows where the people have age above than 50. This is the one. And how many rows are there? There are 72 people. There are 72 people above 50. Okay. Now let's change. Let's change. Now, suppose the criteria is, I want to know those people who are having age above 50 and they were traveling in the passenger class 1. both things simultaneously. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now I want to know, show me the data of those people who are above 50 and traveling in passenger class 1. So means two conditions needs to be checked simultaneously. One condition is this one, right? Age should be greater than 50. Okay. This will give me, let me pack it in this brackets. Remember, pack them inside the bracket. This is first condition. What should be your second condition? Remember, passenger class should be 1. Passenger class should be 1. So DF, what is the name? I think P class, if I'm correct. Let me press step P class. And what you want it to be? You want it to be
1 is equals to
1.
is equal.
Yes. You want it to be 1. Pack it inside this. Again, pack it. As many conditions you want to put them. Once you are done and you want them condition to be satisfied simultaneously, you want both condition to be true simultaneously, means age should be greater than 50 and passenger class should be greater than should be 1. These
End
should
operation.
these yes, end operation.
And operation.
Okay, so don't put AND gate, it won't work. Okay, because AND operator works on only if you if you use AND this, it will throw an error. Let me show you. See, it series doesn't work with, because individual columns works as a series. So these are series, it is not able to work with that. But don't worry, we have a savior. Use AND operator instead. Ampersand. It will help you out. Okay, instead of that, put ampersand. Now filtering condition is created. No issue with that. Now pack this filtering condition inside your DF. That's it. DF. Run it. Got it. Please check it. Can you see? This is the data of all the people who are having age above 50. See, second, all are having passenger class equal to 1. And you want to check how many people are there? Very easy. Type dot shape. 42 people were there. Right? 42 people were there who are having age greater than 50 and traveling in the passenger class 1. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now suppose I give you a condition now. Okay. Tell me the list of those people who were traveling. Actually, if you have seen the Titanic movie, which class people died more? Remember? Class 3. Passenger class 3 people died most because they were in the bottom part of the ship. So they died more. So I want to know how many of the passenger class 3 people survived. How many of the passenger class 3 people survived now? Can you do this for me?
Yes, sir.
Please tell me. In Kerala, it is having very heavy rain, lightning, and thunderstorm. That's why one of the student is not able to attend the class today. Please tell me.
Sir, can you explain once again the conditions?
Condition is I want to see the list of those people who were traveling in the passenger class 3 and they survived. Means they didn't die.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, condition should be within DF.
Have you
P
created?
class.
Created?
Sir, actually, I'm not done in laptop, but I'm just
Doing on the
telling
pen and paper.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Don't worry. I'm just copying it, whatever you are saying. Fine.
That should be equal to 3.
Fine.
And survive should be equal to 1. And survive should be equal to 1.
DF
Survived
survive equal 1,
1.
right? Let me pack that in the brackets. This is perfect condition, 100% perfect condition. Let me pack that filtering condition inside my df now. Square bracket, square bracket. Let me run this. Okay. 119 people. Okay, survived. And out of watch, let me check how out of watch. So we can check that how much was total in the passenger class 3. We can directly check that. df. Let me remove this thing. 487 people were there in the passenger class 3, and 119 got alive. The rest of the people died. Right? So they may ask you this way as well. Tell me in which class the most people died. In which class most people died? I think you can do such kind of analysis, right? Very easily. Check class by class. You will be able to get an idea. How many people were there? How many survived and everything? What was the maximum fare? You can tell me what was the maximum fare, or who paid the maximum fare? Who paid the minimum fare? I think this kind of analysis can be done very easily now by you people. Tell me.
Yes, sir, it was easy.
It's very, very easy, right? Now let's take one more criteria, just one more criteria, and that is suppose I want to know the list of the people who were uh, either I'm putting the condition, okay? Either suppose what should I put? Suppose either they were traveling in passenger class 2, okay, or they were not carrying. Remember what I'm saying, or they were not carrying their siblings or spouse together. Are you getting what I said? They are traveling on the passenger class 2, or condition is there, okay, or they were not carrying any sibling or spouses with them. Means sibling or spouses was 0. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
Please tell me. How can I do that?
Sir,
Sir, we
putting
have
or
to just add
condition.
one more filter.
Pardon? One is
We have to
same thing copy. Okay. And what I need passenger class to be 2. First condition is created, perfect, fine. Second condition should be what? df siblings aboard equals 0, right? Either of these conditions should be satisfied. Either of these means or
Or
condition.
should be there.
Either of that will be sufficient. For or, you have to put a pipe operator. Pipe that is above enter. Above enter, you can see that this condition. Okay, this is your pipe operation. Condition has been created. Package inside your data frame. Pack it inside your data frame. Run this. This is the list we got 668 something rows because we OR them. So whenever we are doing OR, of course, the number of rows will be increasing for sure. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So should I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
So now let's understand missing values. How to deal with the missing values. Okay. Let me search for a data somewhere. I think I do have a data set with me so that you can understand that better. What is the name? I don't remember. Give me a second. Panda J class 2. It should be there. No, this is not the one. This thing we have already done. This is done. I need that data set only. No, small. Yeah, this thing I need. Okay, let me copy it and go over here. So suppose I'm creating my own data frame now. Instead of getting data from somewhere, I'm creating a own data frame. Later on, I'll tell you how to create whenever you require. Most of the time you won't require, but if you want to create, it is very easy. For example, what I have done here, if you can see there, I've used again pandas library and an inbuilt function data frame to create a data frame. If you want to create a series, just type series here. And within that, I have passed my dictionary here. If you can see how we create dictionary, remember curly braces, then key colon values, key colon values, key colon values. So this is A is the key, and these are values 1, 2, and np.9 means missing value. Remember, np.9 is missing value. 5 again missing value, missing value. C 1, 2, 3 missing values. If I run this, I will get my data frame. You can check immediately. Okay, this is my data frame which has 3 columns: A, B, and C. Okay, and the entries are, you can see the way I entered in eighth column. I want to see 1, 2, and nan. Okay, so I'm seeing 1, 2, and nan. In Bth column, I want to see 5, nan, nan. So I type 5, nan, nan. In Cth column, I want 1, 2, 3. We got 1, 2, 3. Fine. So I'm able to create that. Now, actually, we can't create our model just by using missing values. That's not a recommended method. You have to deal with those missing values. Somehow treatment has to be done. Okay, treatment can be 2 ways. One, remove your missing values. Easiest way. Remove your missing values. But it's not the case that you can always remove the missing values rows. Remove the missing values. Then what will happen? Actually, suppose you have a data set of 1000 rows, out of which 900 are missing. If you delete all the rows, then what will you get? Only 100 rows. How will you create a machine learning model? Useless. Okay, so sometimes suppose, but you have 9000 data, out of which you have 8500 is perfect, only 500 are missing value. You can remove that, remove those missing values. Perfect, no issue with that. Okay, so what we are going to do, how to deal with that? First easiest method is to remove, okay, or to drop. So how can I do that? See, I'm using again df. There is a function known as drop that we said to drop anything we use drop, but now the terms come any. You want to drop NaN value or the missing value, the function comes drop any. What it will do, it will remove all the rows which are having NaN for the missing values. Okay, so if I use it, see, first row is not having any missing value, but second row is having, third row is having the missing values. Okay, so I want to remove them. I will just do that. It will remove both of these rows. See, both of those rows have gone now. One missing value treatment you have done. You have removed the rows, but actually this happens not in place. If you want, if I will check df original, it is available. Originally it is available. If I want to remove them, then I have to type again. Can you tell me if I want to do in place, then what should I type inside? We studied it several times today. If I want to incorporate same thing in the data frame, what should I put inside?
In place is equals to true.
Yes, in place equals to true. Okay, this is one method. We can type, there is a method. If you can say, just I type in, if I press C, in place equal to thing is coming. And by default, it is false. You want to check, go inside, press shift tab, in place equal to false. Can you check? It has been set false. You can make it true. Now see, what is happening? It is dropping all the rows which are having NaN value. But if I make, again, same way, inside this, I make x is equal to 1. So it will drop any column. I'm saying again, it will drop any column which is having NaN value, not rows. It will drop any column having NaN value. So can you tell me which columns will be dropped?
A and B.
Yes, A and B columns will be dropped. So let me check it. See, A and B column has gone. But this is not the recommended method. Your features are gone, right? Your input parameters have gone. So this is not a recommended. Normally, we don't drop our columns. Normally, we don't drop. We drop with the rows. Because see what happened. Only one parameter is remaining now. What machine learning model you will build if you are dropping everything? Okay, don't worry. To deal with all such things, there is one more thing. There is one more thing. So normally you'd remove with the rows only. So let's move again and let's see one thing. There is one parameter. Let me go to the df dot drop na. Okay, there's one parameter known as thresh. If we go inside, yes, can you see that? There is one important parameter known as thresh. Let me use that. Let me tell you what it is. Thresh equals to what value should I put? Suppose I said, understand what it will do. When I'm setting thresh equal to 2, it tells me, suppose because we have not put x is equal to 1, so it will consider rows only, right? So it tells me in a particular row, how many, understand, in a particular row, how many non-NaN values should be there? How many non-NaN values should be there so that it doesn't get dropped? Means if you want any means, for example, this is a row. Okay, this is a row. Let's consider this row. If I don't want this row to be dropped, ensure that there are at least 2 non-NaN values in this row. Is it clear what I'm saying? If you don't want to drop any row, ensure that there are minimum 2 non-NaN values. Means 2 non-missing values. Okay, so can you tell me in the first of this, is there any NaN?
No, sir.
Okay, so this condition is satisfied or not? Thresh equal to 2.
Yes.
It is satisfied. Thresh equal to 2 means minimum 2 non-NaN values are required so that it doesn't get dropped. Understand my words, what I'm saying. This is the
It's not
condition.
true for 0 and 1. It is only true for second
Pardon?
third
Pardon?
row.
No, wait. Now
True
understand
for
what I'm saying.
0.
First, understand what is the meaning of thresh. Thresh means simply, threshold means I want to drop a row. I will drop a row, but when I will not drop a row, if I found 2 non-NaN values in your row. For example, in the first row, it is non-NaN. This is non-NaN. This is non-NaN. So how many non-NaN values you got in the row? 3.
3.
Right? And once you are at least 2, condition is set, at least 2 should be there. You are having 3. So this row will not be dropped. Is it okay? Please tell me now.
Yes, sir.
The other person who was asking, is it okay, sir? Please.
Yes, it is okay. Right,
Okay.
right.
Now, if I move to the second row, check how many non-NaN values are there. How many non-NaN values? Again, 2. 1 is NaN, but 2 are non-NaN. Condition satisfied. This row also will not be dropped. This row also will not be dropped. But if we go downside, then what should happen? Again, 2 NaN values are there. There is only one row which is non-NaN. Sorry, one value which is non-NaN. I need minimum 2. It is having only one non-NaN value. So this will be dropped. This will be dropped. Let me show you. You will get only 2 rows here. Okay. And now if I set NaN equals to 3, then you can understand what is going to happen. You can change this parameter and you can understand everything. You can change this parameter and you can even if you put it threshold equals to 1, suppose I put threshold equals to 1, then what is going to happen? Threshold equals to 1. Which rows will be dropped? Threshold is 1 only. Tell me. Threshold is 1. Which row will be dropped?
First
1 and
and
2.
second row will be dropped.
No
rows, no
row
rows.
will be dropped. You are actually not understanding the logic. What I'm saying. Listen to my words properly. Threshold tells you condition not to be dropped. Understand? Threshold tells you the condition not to be dropped. Means whatever number is mentioned here. These menu non-NaN values you need. Non-NaN. I'm repeating again. Non-NaN means these should not be non-NaN. So means if any row is having at least one non-NaN, that won't be dropped. That won't be dropped. So we consider this. How many non-NaN values are there? 3. Right? Not be dropped. How many non-NaN values are there? 2. Won't be dropped. How many non-NaN values are there? 1. won't be dropped because we have put one only, right? So if I see, all three rows will be there, all three rows. And if I set it 3, now if you people can tell me, you get the logic completely, which row will be dropped?
Sir, only first row will be remain.
Yes, only and only first row will be remaining. All 3 rows, all 2 rows will be gone. This one, because it needs 3 non-NaN values, and that is available only in row number this. So only this row will be remaining. Rest, this row will be dropped. Check it. If you're not able to understand, you can ask me. Yeah, please tell me.
Sir, why are we not putting thresh equal to 3? Because we are checking the
No,
condition.
that is not required here. See, actually, we everywhere we follow the condition as per the formula. Okay, so if we go inside, see how it is putting only one equal, right? So we have to follow the function is defined. Just a parameter. We are setting its value. It's just a parameter. We are setting its value. Please tell me, thresh is clear or not? Because it is a bit confusing, but you can understand. It is opposite, means it tells you the condition which you need to satisfy for row not to be dropped. That is the main thing. Row should not to be dropped when you are having 3 non-NaN values. Is it okay, everyone? Please tell me. Please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can customize it yourself. You can customize it yourself. You can customize it yourself because sometimes you will be dropping them, sometimes you won't be dropping them. Okay. Now, second case, one more thing. Sometimes it is not good to drop your missing values. Okay. Suppose I don't want to drop. Let me check my DF. And if I want to make things true, then I have to just pass in place equal to true. Remember, I have to just pass in place equal to true and this will be done. Now what I'm going to do, you can see there's a function inside. If you want to go shift tab, you will see that in place equal to false. You have to make it equal to true, then it will be happening in the original data frame. Now let me check DF again. And suppose what I want. I want to replace this NaNs with my value, whatever I want, whatever my want. Suppose what I am doing now. I want to replace them by whatever I need. Okay, so what I will do now, I will type df dot fill na. Okay, df dot fill na, put bracket and type value equals to whatever you want to put, whatever you want to put. Suppose I'm saying my name. Wherever NaN will be there, means missing value will be there, you will get my name. Let me run this. Can you check? Wherever NaN values are there, we'll get a name. But this is not a recommended method. That what I have done right now. I'll tell you how to deal with that. Is it okay? So this is one way. In an entire data frame, you want to replace something by one common value, just use value equal to whatever you want to put there. Okay. Normally, whenever we are doing putting something for missing value, that process is known as imputation. That is known as imputation. Okay. And how do we substitute? We make some decision based on the column. Okay. For example, what I'm going to do, let's say, let's take a column A. Okay. And replace this NaN value with the mean value of A. This is normal process we do. Mean, median, mode, we substitute. So I want to replace, means we should always, whenever we are substituting for any missing value, consider them column wise and accordingly put, see what is the data type of column, and accordingly you will make decision what I will put in place of missing values. Okay. For that purpose, what we do, we use df. Again, to access the column A, I'll type A. And again, now I will type fill NA. It should come automatically. Fill NA. Okay. NA. Now come bracket. Now value, same thing, you have to value equals to, suppose I want to put mean value of A column, mean value of column A. So how can I do? Again, df bracket A, anything you can put on here. Suppose you want to put the mean value of B in the A. So you can do that. Instead of A, put B here, and df dot mean. It will calculate the mean or average value of A. Okay, and substitute where the NA is there. Okay, so let me run this. And we can check now our df. That's why, because we have not placed in place equal to true. That is the only reason, but you can get an idea. How do we substitute? You can see here. Can you see? You can go here if you want to substitute. There is an option, shift tab, in place equal to false, right? So I can type in place equal to true. Now run this and run df now. You can see everywhere else is NaN, but here it was NaN earlier, A place. Now it has been replaced with a mean value. And we can understand 1 and 2, there are two quantities only. So their mean value will be 1.5. If we sum them and divide it by 2, it will become 1.5. So same value has been put it here. Okay, so there are normally two values. One, you can drop the rows which are having your missing values, drop the column which are having the missing values, and the better method is substitute or imputation. Fill the missing values by something. That's dependence upon our criteria. Hope it is okay with everyone. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I think it's enough for the day. Please do practice. The things are going to become much more complex now. Don't worry, it is going to become complex now because everything is linked together. If you forget one thing, other things will be forget. So if you practice, everything is easy. If you don't practice, the things are going to be very, very complex. We haven't even started machine learning. We are doing just data analysis right now. And the machine learning will come, it is going to become much more complex now. So until you practice, it's not good. Okay, so I'm stopping for the day. So thanks everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.